are from Sejarah Portuguese course of Universitas Indonesia, and today we would like to talk a little about the history of Portuguese. The main topic we will be talking about today is about the Portuguese Empire. So now let's check this out. The global Portuguese Empire began in the 15th century, but the country itself was founded before that. In 1139, the Reconquista movement allowed Portugal to reconquer the Iberian Peninsula. That year marked the foundation of the Kingdom of Portugal. The Portuguese began their empire as a search for access to the gold of West Africa and then the Eastern spice trade. In addition, it was hoped there might be a Christian state in Asia that could be a useful ally for Christianity ongoing battles with the Islamic Caliphate. New land for agriculture, riches and glory for colonial adventurers, and the ambitions of missionary works were other motivations in the building of an empire. Carrack ships created a maritime network that connected Lisbon with all of its colonies in the east and in the west. Goods like gold, ivory, silk, and porcelain, and spices were carried and traded around the world. The Portuguese, in their bold exploration along the coast of Africa, had an underlying purpose, which was to sail around the continent to the spice market of the east. But in the process, they developed a trading interest and a lasting presence in Africa itself. The west coast, their interest was in the slave trade, resulting in the Portuguese settlements in both Guinea and Angola. On the east coast, they were drawn to the Mozambique and the Zambezi River by news of the local ruler, the Muhumutapa, who had a fabulous wealth in gold. In their efforts to reach the Muhumutapa, the Portuguese established in 1531 the settlements far up the Zambezi. The Muhumutapa and his gold mines remained beyond the grasp of the intruders. But in this region of East Africa and Angola in the west, Portuguese involvement became sufficiently strong to survive into the 20th century. Throughout the 16th century, the Portuguese had no European rivals on the long sea route around Africa. However, the situation changed in the early 17th when both Dutch and the British created East India companies. The Dutch, in particular, damaged severely the Portuguese Eastern trade.
Portuguese Empire in Africa. With a Treaty of Tordesillas is signed, Portugal assured exclusive navigation around Africa. Explorers for the Portuguese Empire focused heavily on the African coastline. The Portuguese traded for gold and ivory in their African territories and brought the luxury goods back to Europe. And then, in the 1582, Portuguese accessed the West Africa gold and salt trade and set up several fortified trading settlements along the southern coast at Aini. When in 1489, the explorer Vasco da Gama sailed around the Cape of Good Hope and into the Indian Ocean, suddenly the Portuguese gained access to a whole new trade network involving Africa, Indians, and Arab. The lack of success in the East Africa eventually drove the Portuguese south to Mozambique, but they were already wholly distracted by a potential of a newly discovered area, the world of India. Portuguese Empire in India and Spicy. Goa, located on the west coast of India, was a Portuguese colony from the 1510 to 1961. The small coastal area was conquered by Alfonso de Albuquerque and became an important trade hub for the Eastern spicy trade. Goa was the capital of the entire Portuguese Empire east of the Cape of Good Hope for 450 years. One of the Vasco da Gama Prime's objectives was to find a maritime route to Asia so that the Portuguese could gain direct access to the lucrative spicy trade. Spicy like a pepper, ginger, clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon fetched a high price in the market from the England to China. A deal was struck with a local ruler, a fortress built in the 1503, and the Portuguese settled in to do some big business. Unfortunately, they had a major problem. Very few people were interested in any European goods. Superior ships and cannons were used to take over the Indian Ocean trade network by force and establish a monopoly on the spice trade. Other coastal cities were taken over or established, notably Goa, which replaced Cochin as the capital of the Estado de India in 1530. Okay, let's talk about the Portuguese Empire in Nagasaki. Nagasaki, on the northwestern coast of the Japan island of Kyushu, was an important Portuguese trading base from 1571 to 1693, and the easternmost outpost of the Portuguese Empire. The Portuguese presence transformed Nagasaki from a small fishing village into the major trading center of Japan and East Asia. The Portuguese set foot in Japan in September 1543. This was unintentionally because the Portuguese were supposed to sail to China, but it didn't happen because at the time the Portuguese ship was blocked by storms, so that the direction of the ship changed to sail towards Japan and Tanegashima Island. Nagasaki is the location on the northwest coast of Kyushu, Japan. The Portuguese established a permanent presence there in 1571 when the Goa-based viceroy of the Portuguese Indies decided that this should be the main base for the Sino-Japanese trade. Nagasaki was a model fishing port when the Portuguese arrived, but it would be transformed into a thriving trade center that eventually became of the major city of Japan. Only briefly under direct Portuguese administration, the city was used as an access point to lucrative Japanese market goods like silk, silver, and gold were exchanged between China, Portuguese Macau, and Lisbon, as well as many other colonial outposts in Asia. And in year 1693, the Japanese government expelled all foreigners from the mainland as a part of a permanent policy of isolation and reaction against the spread of Christianity.
And now we are going to talk about the end of the Portuguese Empire. How, when, and why did this empire end? By the time the rest of Europe reached the height of their colonialism, the Portuguese had lost most of its colonies in Asia and the Americas. After that, the country focused instead on expanding its colonies in Brazil and Africa. In the late 1800s, the Portuguese had a position of both Mozambique and Angola. Then, Portuguese tried to connect both colonies horizontally across the continent. However, the British Empire had a contrary goal and forced the Portuguese to out of modern-day Zambia and Zimbabwe. And then, shortly after, the Republican activists in Portugal overthrew the monarchy. In 1910, Portugal became a republic. Today, the only remaining external Portuguese territories are Azores, the Desertas, and the Savage Island. However, Portuguese is the official language in 10 countries, including Brazil, Portugal, Principe, and many more. That's all from us. Thank you
Thank
for
you
watching,
for your attention.
and have a nice day.